But first, a Chicago police lieutenant relieved of his police powers after a shocking confrontation caught on camera.
I did speak to the man who recorded the video. He doesn't want his entire name out there in fear of retaliation, but we did do some digging and we found out this isn't the first time this officer has been accused of wrongdoing.
Welcome back to We the People University. My name is Abiyah Israel, former police officer and former sheriff's deputy. Today we're taking a look at a Chicago lieutenant who, after 29 years and literally 73 complaints later, has finally been relieved of his police duties. That does not mean he has been fired from the police department. He just doesn't have his normal police duties as he typically would. What happened finally to make them say, hey, let's relieve this guy of his police duties? A video. Even though this guy is known for beating people up, and there is an incident where the Chicago Police Department had to already pay out a fine, should we call it, a settlement for $53,000 at a Chicago Cubs game for this guy pummeling someone. That wasn't enough. It took the video of someone recording him, because he did not know he was being recorded, calling someone else a racial slur. Now, I've been asked before about the racial slur thing, and I've told you guys on this channel several times before the story. Working as a police officer, there was one incident where I was literally called the N-word. I lost count, but it was somewhere around 45, 46 times, just back to back to back to back. And with that being said, the guys working with me, they were like, is this not bothering you? My thing is, it doesn't really bother me. It doesn't change anything in my life. It doesn't change my family situation, my financial situation, my living situation. If you're a police officer and that bothers you, then you have a problem. All right. And this has happened all throughout my career. Most of you guys, or some of you guys, should know, I've said it before I became a police officer, I was a paramedic. And before you guys write in the comment section that you're not that old, guy, listen, I'm not that old, but I'm not that young either. I'm okay. I'll give you guys a hint. I'm less than 5 years from 50. Now, I know that's not old, but it's old enough to do the things I've told you I've done. United States Navy, a paramedic, and also law enforcement. But anyway, back to the point, when I was working as a paramedic, I had the same exact situation happen to me where someone called me a racial slur. It wasn't like in law enforcement where it was over and over and over again. But the fact of the matter is my response was the same. It doesn't matter to me. But what this does go to prove is this. If someone is willing to use that in public openly and just freely because that's how they feel, then that person you probably don't want as a police officer, because he's already or she's already showing you the type of mentality that they carry. And 73 complaints later, we are here. Let's check this out really quick and we'll speak more here in a second.
Our Tia Ewing spoke with the man who recorded it. Tia.
Well, Scott and Dawn, this officer was off duty when all of this unfolded.
At this point, I don't know, case, phone number on that. Oh, we still call him. The white guy. The white guy. So the white guy got to fix that. What's up with that? It's crazy. What did he just say?
Please tell me you got that on video.
Did he just say?
Yeah, he's dropping M-bombs like he...
If I pop out him, I'll be broke. He gonna end up getting beat up by everybody around this.
Are you giving me 5?
Nah, you actually gotta say, okay, ain't no shaking hands with that shit. That ain't funny,
bro.
Ain't you a police officer?
Not me, dude.
Yeah.
I ain't nobody, dude.
Nah.
Not at all.
We the BOBLOV to see.
Right. I ain't.
We'll see. We got your face.
Or nobody.
All right.
How many cameras you got in your arms? How many lights have you shame? You nobody.
A racial slur hurled during a heated argument Friday, July 12th. The man in the blue used the N-word. He got into another altercation with someone else on the same night on this downtown Chicago rooftop. This time, the person he was arguing with identified him as a police officer. Behind the cell phone video recording is Raheem. He confronted the man on the spot.
That ain't funny, bro. Ain't you a police officer?
Not me, dude.
Yeah.
Days later, Raheem posted the video on Instagram, garnering thousands of views and an investigation.
I ain't really know how to react because it's like I know they the police and he not talking to me, but it's still affecting me. So it had me feeling like in a weird position. It's like I'm upset and I didn't know how to like direct my anger.
The Civilian Office of Police Accountability is investigating the incident, and Lieutenant Andrew DeCurris. He's a 29-year veteran on the force.
They need to actually pay attention to the complaints made, pay attention to the officers they have, because these are people that's arresting our communities.
It's not the first time DeCurris has been in the headlines. This is from our website in 2021, stemming from a federal jury finding that DeCurris used excessive force when a man was tackled and beaten during Cubs World Series celebrations in 2016. The man was awarded more than $50,000. At that time, DeCurris had 73 complaints against him. DeCurris' police history hasn't all been marred by turmoil. In 2019, video shows he was honored.
Yeah. He was honored for something else. I find it really frustrating when news stations, oftentimes, they would try to find something in the career that would lessen the blow of how these police officers look when it comes to the way they deal with and treat the public. And oftentimes it's hard to even find the names or any information about the police officers, while the name of the victims are sometimes or oftentimes listed. But he's finally out in the sense of he doesn't have police powers, but this guy needs to be arrested. And not just arrested because of a racial slur, because he does have freedom of speech like everyone else, even if you don't like what he's saying. But he needs to be arrested from the Chicago Cubs incident. That $53,000 settlement wasn't enough. This guy has a history of putting his hands on the public without any lawful reason. And this time he finally gets caught on video, not putting his hands on someone, but actually saying something that he shouldn't be saying as a police officer. But hey, it's his choice, correct? Many of you guys have asked me down in the comment section, hey, why did you leave the police department? Well, just like this guy has a freedom of speech like anyone else, so do I. And I felt like my rights were being violated. I felt like I was being required to do things, or being held to certain standards that every other law enforcement officer wasn't being held to. And for that reason, well, the reason why I was being held to that standard was because I wouldn't go along with the program. I talk about this on the trailer and the video on my page if you're interested to hear more. I also have a book that I've written. If you want to go into even more detail than the trailer I think is about almost 50 minutes of me just explaining everything that happened in my time in law enforcement. But again, the link also down to my book. If you guys haven't gotten that yet, you definitely want to check that out. And it goes into more details and it explores more stories like the one we just watched in further detail. But this is why we always need to record the police, because things like this actually matter. Yes, it took 73 complaints, which is crazy because in my entire policing career, I had zero complaints. Zero complaints against me. This guy had 73. Always record the police, because you never know when that 74th complaint is going to be the one that get them fired if they need to be fired, or even arrested if they are breaking the law. Record the police and know your rights. With that being said, We the People University, signing off.